Good morning, Facebook Live 9:30, Urbana, Virginia. Joe coming to you live here with today's message, and a congratulations to all the people that got into book number 2, Rise as One, The Spiritual Awakening. This is where they tell their stories. This is where they share the trials, tribulations, their pain, the trauma of what they went through growing up. And the reality is we've all gone through some form or fashion of some kind of challenge in this life, and that these are just the experiences of life. So welcome to Friday morning. Fridays are for closers. Fridays are for closing up all your loose ends. Fridays are for closing business for all you business owners. Good to see you, Aaron Knight from Toronto, Canada. Good to see you, my brother. Continue to show up to get the value as we continue to grow and expand our mind and our capacity. Know that all the things that we've experienced as kids growing up, any traumas, any kind of things that held us back, the feelings of not being enough, not having enough, all those feelings shall be surrendered once we decide to surrender them. And for the mind, it'll never be enough. So focus on one day at a time, letting go just a little bit. And I know Aaron knows this. I am always letting go. And when you're always letting go, there's nothing else to hold on to. You become to a state of being. That is the blessing, to have a state of being. Good to see you, Carol Ann. Good Friday morning, everybody. We're on our way to Flip House number 1. We got Flip House number 2 in the project. It's in the hopper right now. Just got off the call with Paul. A bunch of great things going on up in Connecticut. We have a second schedule closing up there in Connecticut. So all these things are happening because I decided to let go. This can absolutely happen for you if you decide to let go. I'm going to pull into this parking lot here so we can have this conversation. We are here in Urbana, Virginia. This place is absolutely gorgeous up here. I'm going to share a photo and a video as I go across the bridge over here, as we go from one state of being into a second state of being. Get that sunlight out of my thing right there. There we go. And there's a bridge down here that as I go across the bridge, the energy shifts. Something amazing happens about shifting of the energy. So truth and acceptance. Yes, Aaron, good to see you. Missy, good to see you. Angela, you guys keep showing up. Super proud of you guys, absorbing all this information, absorbing this content, because the reality is that as we continue to surrender, as we continue to let go, as we continue to step into why we are here, what's our purpose, why was I chosen out of everybody else? And once we understand that, we can let go of the mind, tap into purpose, and be straight here through Rise as One, The Spiritual Awakening, book number 2. As you can see it on the bottom, you can look it up on Amazon. It is on Amazon. You can pick up this book. Here are the guest authors. I want to give a big shout out to Roberto Guzman, David Pena, Christina Wavrova, Robert Aguilar, Paul Fisher, Jorge Pantaleon, Christina Joy, Miguel Sanchez, and John McNamara. Thank you, all of you, for sharing your stories in this book. I know without a shadow of a doubt, somebody will have a spiritual awakening of their own as they read the story, and they can relate to some of the pain that some of these authors have gone through. These guest authors did not have to do this. They chose to put their story out there. They chose to share what they've gone through to allow other people to break free. That is the gift. I spoke about this at the Next Level Leadership number 1. To give somebody the gift of life, for me, is the ultimate gift. Because so many of us hide the pain of our pasts. So many of us hide the pain of our past, and we bury it so far inside of us, we start getting health challenges. As we've been saying a long time here, if a body is not at ease, it will become diseased. So I set the intention today, as those of you that are brave enough to read this book and see the stories of the authors and what they've shared, to allow yourself to break free, to break through, and to break down the barriers of that pain that we buried deep inside of us. And I know most of us have it. I had it for 38 years, and I let it go. You can absolutely let it go as well. We have to choose to let it go. Everything is a choice. In this world, everything is a choice. Good to see you, Alex, my brother. Good Friday morning, Houston, Texas. I had a great call with Pastor Clarence Landry, who helped me set up the Rise as One Foundation Incorporated nonprofit. He said his phone got lost. He lost all his contact information. I said, no, Pastor Clarence, that was God clearing the space for you, because you got so many things going on in your mind, you can't even focus on one thing. He forced you to focus on one thing. You. So if we all focus on ourselves today, how do we let go of all the limiting beliefs? One step is to get this book on Amazon. Rise as One, The Spiritual Awakening, book number 2. The guest authors in this book, there's actually 11 of us in there. So big shout out to Gerardo Tafolo for sharing his story here. And I shared a story in here as well about Lou Russo, the World War II veteran, at almost 101 years old, shared so many gifts and wisdom with me. I share that story in this book with you. And that is the gift, as you share your trials, tribulations, pain, trauma, and whatever it is that you've experienced in this life. Just know it's just an experience. It's nothing to do with you. It's just an experience. But many times we make it about us. And then we carry around that guilt and shame, resentment, anger, fear, and all these low vibrations. And we wonder why we have the things that we have in our life, because we attracted those things there. As Aaron says, the past pain wants to be our identity. And for many of us, it becomes our identity, and we're afraid to let it go. Because if I let this go, then who am I? It's our responsibility to acknowledge it and then release it. We can then build our true identity. That's absolutely true, Aaron Knight. So thank you for sharing that. You guys have some comments, post them below, because the reality is we hide because we're in fear of what other people are going to say about us. I say bullshit. Let all that stuff go. Because what you're doing is we're killing ourselves from the inside. On the outside, it can look good. And believe me, nothing's perfect in this world. I'm far from perfect. I have a far from perfect life. But I know who will pay the price if I don't show up. I know people are getting value for some of these messages. I hope some of you guys are writing this stuff down into a book. So go back and reread it as you become awakened and spiritually awakened through these stories. Through the first book stories. Through book 3 stories that will be coming out. As you read these stories, you can relate and say, you know what, I am not alone. You don't have to be the Lone Ranger. Because Tonto was part of that connectivity. Tonto and the Lone Ranger, you always have to have a sidekick, so to speak. Who's your sidekick in life? Is it your wife? Is it your best friend from childhood? Is it somebody that you can confide everything in? But many of us think that we're on the path and we think we're doing the right things, and the reality is we're barely getting by. Good to see you, Jorge. Thank you for that message this morning, brother. As the awakening continues, God's going to have mercy on their souls. But if you've done the crime, you will always pay. You will have to pay. So my intention this morning is to let all that go. Go out there, pick up this book, Rise as One, The Spiritual Awakening, book number 2. Big shout out to Roberto Guzman, David Pena, Christina Wawrova, Robert Aguilar, Paul Fisher, Jorge Pantaleon, who's just logged on, Marina Joy, Miguel Sanchez, and John McNamara. Gerardo Tavola and myself will be in this book as the guest authors, sharing our stories to help you break through. Your family break through, your kids break through. That is the gift. To continue to share and become one. As I was driving up here to Urbana this morning, it says, unity. Unity solves all problems when we become one. Good to see you, Mary. And good evening all the way across over in the Philippines. It is 9 o'clock in the morning. I think it's 9 o'clock over there for Mary Grace. I love that new name. But as we share this gift, go out there and get that book, and you read these stories, and you understand that people are just like you. We're all in this together. You don't have to go alone. When we go alone, especially when we go inside of our mind, the mind is here to protect you. The mind is here to protect you. You don't need protecting. You have the universe, you have Father God watching over you. All we have to do is be. Follow the intuition. Follow your inside voice. Do the right things in this world, as we said yesterday. Do the good works. Speak the good word. Your word is your law. And what are the ways, or the new standards you're going to create for yourself? Setting new standards going forward in 2021, coming up right around the corner. As you can see, time waits for nobody. You can have all these outside influences trying to put you in fear, or you can have unshakable faith, knowing if you keep moving forward, eventually, as you learn the rules of the game of life, you will learn how to play by the game, by those rules. You will break through too. That is my intention for you this Friday morning, September 4th. Happy birthday. Everybody had a bunch of birthdays here in August and September. That is your birthright, to break free. So go out there and celebrate. Celebrate your wins this Friday, no matter how small they are. Celebrate the wins, because we have enough to worry about, to be focused on the negative energies, what's going wrong. But if you focus the energy on what's going right in this world, maybe you woke up today, maybe you had a clean cup of coffee. Many people don't even have that. Maybe you had a bed to lie in. There's people out there sleeping on the ground right now. There's plenty to be thankful for. I'm thankful for every one of the authors that shared their story in this book, Rises 1, book number 2. Here's all the beautiful authors right there. Go out there, pick up that book on Amazon, and allow yourself to be broken through, broken free. Break those chains of bondage that hold us all back. We all have it. Nobody's immune to this. If they try and portray themselves as being perfect, it's not true. I have yet to meet a perfect person in this world, and I don't think I ever will, because perfection is the ultimate lowest standard. Our job is to get better than we were yesterday. Your job is to get better than you were yesterday. Visualize yourself yesterday dying and you being reborn today, because the sun is shining. Today is a new day to begin new beginnings. The 3 W's. The word, the works, and the ways will help you break through. Help us break through. And when it's all said and done, our time has come to rise as one. Have a blessed and fantastic day. We'll see you guys later. Hope if anybody's going through some challenges in his life, please reach out to me. Please reach out to somebody in the Rise as One group. Reach out to somebody in your circle of influence. Don't go it alone. Don't be the Lone Ranger. Tonto is by your side. I love you guys. Have a blessed day. Peace.